a warm-up, and I'm gonna go ahead and do it standing. You're welcome to do it seated, but just be sure you have a nice sturdy chair if you're gonna be standing for the rest of the session, because this is our third bar class today, so I'm gonna be doing a little bit more advanced movements, which is why I'm planning to focus on a little bit more balanced, focused movements today. So be sure you have at least a countertop or nice sturdy chair nearby. We're gonna start with our march in place. Start swinging those arms, picking up the feet. Once you got a good rhythm, we'll speed up that movement. Pick up our feet just a little bit higher. Make sure we're breathing in and out. Get our blood flowing through our body. Let's keep it going just a few more seconds. We're going to go into some side steps. Let's go for 3, 2, and 1. Let's go into our side steps. Open and close the arms. And again, once you got that rhythm, let's speed up the movement just a little bit. Very nice. Use the space that you have. If you're in your home or in your front yard or backyard, you're gonna use as much space as we have. Use your breath. Keep this movement going a few more seconds. We're gonna go into some heel taps. Heel taps out in front. In 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna go heel tap. Just get that movement going. If you're standing, be sure you're nice and balanced, or you have a nice sturdy chair by your side. Once we have that rhythm, I'm gonna ask that we try and swing the arms forward and back. If you can notice here, I'm putting a little bit of a bend in the opposite leg just to help me really stretch my leg out in front. Really reaching that leg out. Keep it going. And let's gonna go for some toe taps. Still really reaching those legs out. Getting a good stretch through the leg as we get that blood flowing through our bodies. Still trying to let the arms swing at our sides. And let's go for 3, 2, and last 1. Good, let's go ahead and let our legs rest, and we're just gonna bring our arms up overhead and reach, and then all the way back down. And again, using your breath, inhaling to reach up, and exhale down. 2 more here, reach, and lower, and 1 last time, reach, and lower. Awesome job. Now we're gonna open up nice and wide, stretching through our chest, and then close nice and tight, stretching through your back. And open once more, close nice and tight. And let's go ahead and relax our arms down at our sides. All right, if you need to warm up just a little bit more, you're welcome to pause the video and continue warming up. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started with our bar workout. So we're gonna start with some Demi plies. We've done this previously in our videos, but I'm gonna go ahead and start with my feet just a little bit wider than hip width apart, and my toes are gonna point outwards. Standing up nice and tall with good posture. I'm tucking my bottom underneath me, almost squeezing my glutes in. I'll go ahead and face side just so you can see what a Demi plie is, just halfway. Just going through light range of motion, not quite squatting down. So we're gonna go Demi plie, come all the way up, and then up onto our toes, lifting our heels off the ground. So we're going Demi plie, straighten the legs, and releve up onto our toes. Go ahead and repeat Demi plie, and releve up onto the toes. Notice I'm just going slightly down, not forcing any range of motion yet. Let's go 4 more. Take your time, 3 more. You'll notice you'll kind of naturally go a little bit lower each time as your legs warm up. And one last time. Demi-plie and releve up onto those toes. Very nice. Next we're going to go into some grand pliés. So grand pliés, we want to go as low as we can. So here it's very important that we have a nice sturdy chair, and we're going to open up just a little bit wider so we can get a deeper bend in our knees. And I'm going to stay here to the side so you can see that I'm doing as best as I can to keep a nice straight line. It's a little bit different than a squat, where when we normally do our squats, we want to hinge over at our hips, kind of dragging our bottom back to the root. But here in barre, very similar to ballet, we want to do our best to keep a nice straight line all the way down through our body as we plie. Very different from a squat where we're hinging our hips back and almost tilting our upper body down. So, our grand plie, tucking our booty under, nice good posture, and we're going to lower down grand plie as low as we can, as far as we feel comfortable, coming all the way up and all the way up onto our toes, lifting our heels off the ground. And again, grand plie and heel lift, grand plie and releve. Doing our best to keep a light grip on our chair or our countertop, wherever we are. Trying not to use that support too roughly. Really helps to brace your core here and tuck that booty underneath. Let's go for 2 more here. Grand plie. And releve up onto those toes. One last time, grand plie. And releve. And awesome. Go ahead and bring your feet back into your normal hip width apart stance or parallel feet. We're going to go ahead and repeat those 2 exercises, but we're going to do them in a parallel stance. So parallel stance is just with our feet facing forward, toes pointing the front of the room. And I'll go ahead and face forward this time. So we started with our demi-plies, which is just getting that nice range of motion going. So I'm going to keep my right hand down at my side and my left hand using my support. And I'm going to go ahead and just demi-plie, bending the knees slightly, and then coming up onto my toes, going into a releve. Demi-plie and releve. And again, demi-plie and up, releve. Demi-plie and releve. Keeping that core nice and tight. Still trying to tuck that booty under as we come up. Very nice. We're getting a little bit more focused on our quads here when we're in our neutral position. Go a few more times, keeping our shoulders back, down, and relaxed, keeping our core braced. And one last time, demi-plie, releve, and down. Awesome, go ahead and relax. Shake out those feet if you need. Mine are getting a little tired here. I'm gonna go ahead and go into our grand plie to releve. So we're gonna do the same thing, but notice here, we have a demi-plie where we're just getting our natural range of motion in. And then as I go into my grand plie, I'm gonna go down as far as I can. And then lift up onto those toes. Only going as far as you feel comfortable today. If as far as you feel comfortable as a demi-plie, go ahead and do another set of those demi-plies. I'm gonna go ahead and go into my grand plies. Arm out to the side, core is braced. Ready, and grand plie. And lifting up onto those toes. Sorry, I told you guys, arm out to the side. Grand plie. Lifting up onto those toes. Grand plie. And lift up onto those toes. Keeping your arm out to the side can help with balance. Keeping your chest nice and lifted and proud. Let's go 3 more here. Up onto those toes. 2 more. Grand plie. And up onto the toes. If you're feeling very strong in your balance today, you're welcome to lift that hand up off the chair. Test your balance as you elevate. Awesome, awesome job. Shake out those feet once more. We're gonna go into some tendus. Tendu means to stretch. So here, I'm going to invite you to take off your shoes so we can really work our feet through the floor. Make sure they're out of your way so we don't stumble on them or trip on them. And I want us to focus on, just for a second, feeling our feet on the ground, pressing our toes into the floor, opening up those toes on the ground, really gripping and grounding yourself into the floor. And we're gonna go ahead and keep our feet in a neutral position here, arm out to our side. And we're gonna go en croix, which means to cross. So we're gonna go front, side, and back with our foot, stretching it out in front. So we're gonna stretch all the way out in front so that we're on our tippy toe, balancing on one leg, and then come all the way back in. Going out to the side now. Stretching that leg all the way out to the side, pointing our toe real hard, and then coming all the way back in. And now to the back. Stretch that leg out to the back, lifting your body up, and coming back in. Now out to the side, and back in. One more time out to the front, and back in. Out to the side, and back in. And once more to the back. Lift to come in. And once more to the side. Awesome job. I'm going to go ahead and move to the other side of my chair just so we can do the other leg. So we're doing our tendus in a neutral position. Our arm is out to the side. I'm not sure if you can see my feet with the shoes in the way. So we're going to start going to the front en croix, stretching the foot out to the front and back in. And going out to the side, stretch, lifting, and coming back in. Really focusing on balancing here on that right leg. Stretching that back leg and coming back in. Out to the side. And let's go once more en croix, out to the front. Stretch that leg out, pointing the toes nice and hard. And coming back in. Out to the side. And back in. And out to the back once more. And back in. And last time out to the side. And back in. Awesome, awesome job. This last little combination here is going to be tendu to a piqué. Remembering that tendu means to stretch, really focusing on stretching the leg that's coming out in front or to the side or back, and also really focusing on really grounding yourself into the ground, really balancing on that opposite leg, squeezing the glute that's holding you onto the ground. So here when your left leg is in front, you want to squeeze that right glute. It's really going to stabilize you and ground you into the floor. And piqué, so we do tendu, we're going to do piqué, which means to prick. So we want to have that nice sturdy chair. We're going to lift the toe off the ground, prick the floor, and then come all the way back in. And I'll do that one more time. We're going to stretch the foot out in front, prick the floor, and come back in. And we're just going to do this one forward. only forward, and we're gonna do it about 6 times. So nice, good posture, light grip on that chair. Find your balance over on this right leg. We're gonna stretch the left leg out in front, pointing those toes nice and hard. Pique, and back down. Lifting to come back into center. I'll bring my arm out to the side here, stretching the leg out in front. Pique, and back in. Really squeezing that opposite glute to help you balance. Stretching the leg back out in front. Pique, and back in. Here's 3, stretching the leg out in front. Pique, and back in. Really just prick that floor. Pique, and back in. We're halfway there. And pique, and back in. Tonjo, pique, and back in. 3 more to go. Stand nice and tall. Pique, and back in. 2 more. Really ground yourself. Fix your posture if you need. Stretching that leg out in front. Pique, and back in. 1 last time here. Stretching the leg out in front. Pique, and back in. Awesome job. Go ahead and shake out those legs. And it can get tiring squeezing that glute. Stretching the leg out in front. And we're going to go ahead and do it on the opposite side now. Remember, we're only doing it out in front. Have that nice sturdy chair. Your right arm is out to the side. Remember, find your center, find your balance, grip the floor, brace your core, standing up nice and tall. Get ready for the Tonjo to pique. Really squeeze that left glute here. Ready? And stretching the right leg out in front. Pique, and back in. And stretch, pique, and back in. Here's 3, stretching it out in front. Pique, and back in. And stretch, pique, and back in. Light grip here on that chair. Stretch the leg out in front and pique, and back in. You're doing a great job here, almost there. Stretch the leg out in front, pique, and back in. Just a few more, stretching it out in front, pique, and back in. Tonjo, pique, and back in. 1 last time here, 1 more. Stretch the leg out in front, pique, and lift to come back in. Awesome, awesome job. All right, next is just a little bit of a stretch in our upper body so we don't have to focus too much on our lower body here. We're gonna come into about hip width apart in our lower body for our stance. We're gonna bring our right arm out to the side and we're just gonna stretch over to our left, coming up, reaching over to the left. And then coming over and back up to our neutral position. So just kind of making a little half circle with our upper body. I'll do it twice more. We're gonna reach out to our right, up overhead and over to the left, then rounding over in the front. And coming all the way back up, 1 more time, over to the right, reaching up overhead, over to the left, nice and slow, and rounding over in front, back to our neutral position. Awesome. Good, now we're gonna go over to that other side. I'll move my chair over so you can get a better view. I have my left arm out to the side, standing up nice and tall. Light grip over on your chair. And we're gonna reach out to the left, up overhead and over to the right. And rounding out in front, coming back to our neutral position. Twice more, reaching out to the left, up overhead, over to the right, and then rounding over in front to come back to our neutral position. 1 more time, flowing through, over to the left, up overhead, over to the right, And rounding out in front to come back to our neutral position. Awesome, awesome job. Go ahead and relax your arms down at your side. And let's go ahead and inhale our arms up overhead. Exhale down. And inhale the arms up overhead. Reaching. And exhale down. 2 more breaths here. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale down. And 1 more deep breath here. Inhale the arms up overhead. And exhale down. Awesome, awesome job today. Thank you very much for joining me for Barre Part 3. Just remember to stretch out and cool down if you need. Stretch out that lower body. You can do that seated or standing. And thank you very much for joining. I hope you all have a great rest of your day.